This film shows Faximil 1000 and 2000. The difference between the machines is the lower tool holder. Faximil 1000 has a lower tool holder with universal block, where the complete Nibbler's universal tool range can be fitted. Faximil 2000 has a fixed center lower tool holder designed for rapid tool change during nibbling and punching. It is also possible to make louver forming, joggle, and beading with this machine. The machine's nibbling capacity is 6 millimeters, and the largest coordinate table has a working area of 1000 by 2000 millimeters. Faximil's powerful box frame provides smooth and vibration-free operation even in maximum plate. Included with the machine are base and machine mounts for damping and aligning of the machine, plus collecting box for waste plate. The electrical cabinet with main switch lock has automat cutout, contactors with overload relays, rectifiers and transformer for 24-volt operating current. The prerequisite for a satisfactory punching and nibbling result is a stable coordinate table with strong support. The coordinate table has 2 hardened and ground circular guides. The strong support and the wide carriage of hardened aluminium provide good stability. For the purpose of stability, the transversal table also has double controls. Lock levers are available for position locking of depth and transversal movement. The template table is, with its ball-bearing suspension, easy to maneuver. The box design and eccentric positioning lock ensures the table excellent stability. The template holders are fitted on the parallel rails. The table can be equipped with automatic coordinate locking with 2 spring-loaded DC magnets, one in each direction for locking of the coordinate movement in preset stops. For depth movement, the coordinate rail is exchangeable, which makes it possible to use one or more preset coordinate rails. In order to realistically show Faximil in operation, we shall follow the manufacturing of this instrument panel in Faximil 2000. For repeated manufacture, a template is made first, and we then use the automatic coordinate locking. This is invaluable during the manufacture of templates or single plates, since all dimensioning can be checked before processing. For fitting of the stops, we have a drawing where all dimensions are taken from 0 in the X or Y axes. The positioning of the stops is done with the aid of coordinate scales which have a 1/10 of a millimeter readings. In order to preset this instrument panel, 32 stops are needed in the X-axis and 4 coordinate rails with 40 stops in the Y-axis. During stop setting, we have taken into account that nibbling is done with an 8 millimeter nibbling punch. All stops are fitted, and we shall punch out the template. We have numbered the stops to avoid mistakes. In order to follow more easily the manufacturing, we shall show a finished template and a finished instrument panel. All holes punched in the instrument panel have an 8 millimeter hole marking in the template, corresponding to the copy control's tracer pin. Cuts which shall be nibbled have the same hole pattern as the finished panel. The stroke length is set with a lever, and the steplessly variable stroke speed is controlled by a hand wheel. The colored area shows the correct number of revolutions depending on work operation and thickness of material. We have fitted an 8 millimeter nibbling punch and die in the machine. The die's nibbling height is set, and we make a trial nibbling. The nibbling cuts finish is a combination of stroke length and stroke speed. Coordinate rail number 1 is fitted and punching can begin when the coordinate table has taken the first stop position in the X and Y axis. After punching, the stops are released to the next position and the operation repeated. For the instrument panel's ventilation apertures, we nibbled tracks for the louver cutting tool's positioning. During nibbling, the nibbling punch should be supplied with coolant, and for this purpose there is a tank which is connected to the nibbling punch. Regulation takes place with the flow control. Here we have a hole pattern where we use a centering device with graduated angle. Holes from 15 to 600 millimeters can be nibbled with the centering device. With the stops, we have determined the cut center for the centering of the centering device. The runner is set for the correct radius and locked. During turning of the center arm, the circular movement is transferred via the tracer pin to the table. During circular nibbling, the coordinate lock is disconnected with a switch on the control panel. The centering device is graduated for 360 degrees and is also used during punching of the 3 holes with 120 graduation. We shall now punch and nibble the hole pattern with the aid of coordinate rail number 2. In order to avoid overloading of the coordinate table during the processing of large plates, a support table should be used. When a square hole is nibbled, the magnetic plunger is released in the direction of nibbling. The table is conveyed until the magnetic plunger engages the next stops and stops the table movement. The operation is repeated until the hole is nibbled out. We have changed to coordinate rail number 3. And are now nibbling 2 cuts and making hole markings for 19 punchings. The 4th coordinate rail is fitted and we make hole marks for 28 punchings. To make a template of this size with correct dimensioning of the internal positioning of the holes is both time-consuming and expensive without the aid of the automatic coordinate lock. In order to simplify further work, we have marked in color the positions in which the various tools shall be used. The template is fitted to the template table, and when the requisite tools have been put out, then the manufacture of the panel begins. With a round 8mm nibbling punch fitted to the machine, we punch all 8mm holes and nibble all contours. During nibbling and punching from the template, we use the copy control, which has an 8 or 10mm tracer pin. This helps us to follow a contour or find a hole marking. During nibbling, the tracer pin shall always correspond to the dimension of the nibbling punch if hole marking is to be the same. The copy control is adjustable and is released from the template by turning the handle.